All right, Master Tech Training Academy book club. The book we're currently reading is 97 Things Every Scrum Practitioner Should Know. Collective Wisdom from the Experts, edited by Gunther Varen. And the page we're on today is page 20, and we'll read 21 as well. One of the authors or contributing authors of this book is a Mr. Robert Galen, and so you can see the interview that we did with Mr. Galen at scrumlife.com. That's scrumlife.com. Please pay no attention to the children that you hear screaming in the background. So we're going to go ahead and read this, and then we're going to discuss. And this particular chapter is called What Will You Define as Scrum? What will you define as done? What will you define as done? Teams and organizations want to capitalize on business and market opportunities. Scrum offers them this option by assuring a done increment, i.e. a releasable version of a product is available no later than by the end of each sprint, as a sprint takes no more than 4 weeks and often less, as little as 1 week. The organization can be faster to market, win an opportunity, and generate value. Without making transparent what done encapsulates, Scrum cannot be applied effectively via a definition of done. Everyone understands what done means. This is vital, and when considering the opportunistic value of the product functionality offered in an increment, the definition of done also provides crucial clarity for the development team when forecasting work deemed feasible for a sprint. Throughout a sprint, the definition of done guides them in assessing whether work on product backlog items and the product increment is complete. A professional organization only releases done increments. Scrum professionals adhere to the definition of done. Always, no undone work is part of an increment. No undone work is put into production, ever. Committed professionals reflect on ways to improve product quality as reflected in the definition of done. Many teams across the world seem to be unable to create increments of product that are actually releasable. Code is entered and potentially tested within a team, but the actual increment remains scattered and hidden in long-lived branches. Or the work delivered at the end of the sprint still needs to be integrated with the work of other teams. Or even worse, it needs to be shipped to a different department for that purpose. In those cases, Scrum reveals that there are important organizational dysfunctions impeding the organization's agility. There is a substantial amount of undone time. The time it takes to go from an undone piece of work to a done increment. This wasteful delay kills the option of opportunistic releases. The purpose of a sprint in Scrum is not just to result in a piece of work that can be shipped to another team, functional group, or department. An increment is expected to be in a usable condition, ready for production. An increment should be at minimum in a production deployable state. The definition of done describes that state. Most often, teams include in their definition of done the development activities to be performed from increment to be considered releasable. Pair programmed or code reviewed, unit tested, user acceptance tested, integration, regression, and performance tested. These are great development standards that enhance transparency, but are they also a great definition of done? Imagine any non-software industry. Can you imagine quality being expressed in terms of the machines, tools, and practices used? Is this not how to create quality rather than defining quality itself? Quality is optimally defined through the qualities the product should exhibit. A done product in Scrum is not just a product on which rigorous, proper development standards are applied. A done product exhibits the product qualities your organization envisions. The product's interior construction and the organizational and maintenance standards and conventions respected with valued functionality only and living up to all applicable usability standards. Capture in your definition of done more than the work needed to produce a releasable increment. Shift it toward guiding you in creating valuable increments. I think that's a great chapter. I think a lot of organizations struggle with this, in that, as the section that we read stated clearly, that at the end of a sprint, the team may consider something done, but it's not quite releasable. It's not testable. It's not fully functional. So I often like to talk about the apps and the programs that people in the world use most, and that would probably be like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, right? So imagine a team at Instagram released a new feature, and the team that was developing it at the end of the sprint said, oh, this is done, right? And so if it's not done to the point that Instagram can push a button to implement it into the product, it's not done yet. If it has to go to another team to be tested or go to another department to be integrated, it's not quite done yet. And so a lot of organizations are using things that are done-ish and calling them done. But in Scrum, it's either done, or it's not done at all. And so I think a lot of teams and a lot of organizations are struggling with that. And if you or someone you know wants to learn more about Scrum or more about Agile, I recommend that you go to our website, scrumlife.com, to find out more about what Scrum is and more about how different organizations are using Scrum to deliver usable, quality, valuable products to their clients. Peace.